Okay, so I wanted to go through the skin senses with you today, really quick, and just to kind of review, because I know that some of you did the skin model, and so this will just kind of touch on some things just to make sure everybody's on the same page. So a lot of us think that our skin is kind of like a canvas rather than a sense, but it's actually our largest sensory system. It's draped over the body with receptors for touch, temperature, and pain. And these three kinds of receptors form the cutaneous senses. But I'll probably just refer to them as the skin senses. So in vision, we detect light energy. In hearing, we detect the vibrations of air or sound waves pressing against our eardrums. And in touch, we detect mechanical energy or pressure against the skin. This pressure is detected by the sensory receptors located around the roots of hair cells. Sensory fibers arising from the receptors in the skin enter the spinal cord. From there, the information travels to the brainstem, where most fibers from each side of the body cross over to the opposite side of the brain. So if you're feeling something with your right hand, it will cross over and be sensed by the left side of your brain. Next, the information about touch moves on to the thalamus. We've talked about that as being the receptor or the relay station in our brain. And then the thalamus projects the map of the body's surface onto the somatosensory area of the parietal lobes in the cerebral cortex. Touch and temperature send messages in the same way. Sensory information travels to the spinal cord, to the brainstem, to the thalamus, and then it's sent to the parietal lobe for translation. Temperature is detected in the thermoreceptors just below the surface of the skin, and there are two types, warm and cold. Pain is the sensation that warns us of damage to the body. Intense stimulation of any one of the senses can produce pain. So if you've ever walked out into really bright light and it kind of gives you a headache, if really loud sounds hurt your ears, if you eat ghost peppers or habanero peppers, it might hurt because they're so hot. Pain receptors are located throughout the body, not just on the skin. They're located in the sheath tissue around muscles, in your internal organs, and in the membranes around your bones. Prostaglandins are the fatty acids that stimulate the pain receptors to send pain messages to the brain. These messages take two different pathways. The fast track pain messages go to the thalamus and then to the frontal and parietal lobes. These cause sharp localized pain. The slow track pain messages go first to the limbic system and then to the fast track and cause like kind of that nagging pain. The gate theory of pain refers to the idea that only so many pain messages can be sent at a time. Pain can then be reduced by adding more pressure to an injured area and therefore flooding the switchboard. So if you bump your head and you are told, rub the area that you have bumped, that will actually lessen the pain. The same applies if you get punched in the arm, just rub the part of your arm. Now all of these messages about touch are trying to be sent, and only if you can get in. And so some of them that are rejected will be the pain messages. Your body has two kinds of senses that give you information about your movement and your orientation in space, as well as help you to maintain balance. These are the vestibular and the kinesthetic senses. The vestibular sense provides information about balance and movement. It tells us whether our head is tilted, moving, slowing down, or speeding up. The semicircular canals in the inner ear contain the sensory receptors that detect head motion. These canals consist of three fluid-filled circular tubes that lie in the three planes of the body, right to left, front to back, and up and down. The kinesthetic sense provides information about movement, posture, and orientation. As we stretch and we move, receptors embedded in muscle fibers and joints signal the state of the muscle. And this is what tells us what position we're in, whether we're standing, sitting, those types of movements. So this is a basic overview of the skin senses. If you need more information, there is more information in your textbook, or you feel free to ask questions via email or when I get back to class.